Hi everyone, Bruce Swartz here. Thank you very much for coming to my astronomy channel. We research UFOs, I research UFOs, and I share everything I capture. Remember this one? Yeah, it's dark, you said? Well, it's normal. Sometimes I show things that are dark to show hidden things. That's something beside the sun, my friends. And here's the other scary shot. Bad, you say? Well, yeah, look how agitated the sun is. There's something beside it. There's more than one object that was passing by beside it, and these are one of the images. Myself not understanding why that big bar of light was, a cross, right? You can see the cross on the sun, which because all that light and dust, it's just beaming way out into space and showing us just quite an amazing spectacle. UFOs, different shapes. Will the Pentagon talk about it? I don't know, but it sure is exciting.
It doesn't mean that those UFOs are necessarily square. It means that we are seeing the different stages of what they are doing. We are looking for a shape. Everyone here on Earth is looking for a shape to a UFO, like a car. A UFO is not a car. It has many different ways of progressing over a surface. There's different types of UFOs. They talk about extraordinary flying objects, which is supposedly a myth. I don't think so.
So there's a lot of things on the surface of the moon that really look like not craters. That's all I can say. Look at this object here. It's what they call a crater, yes. But the UFOs, when they're igniting or illuminating, they are changing from what we see shapes and forms. This one really got to me. I showed it again recently, some of you, but it never ceases to amaze me that this has to be built. It's just beyond me seeing these shapes and forms on the moon. We saw yesterday's square where the near Apollo 17 moon landing. So all these captures are being caught on and around the moon. So imagine, the unidentified aerial phenomena task force, which is now going to be in charge at surveying our skies. Maybe, hopefully, these guys are good enough guys to be able to, well, it has nothing to do with them actually being good or not. I just hope the government permits some of these things to come out, or at least that the media will have access to some inside information that once in a while we'll be able to share with us, because we're seeing directional changes on the moon, both on the moon and in the skies. Check it out. Very important to say, this is sped up. Somebody says, why didn't you follow it longer? Look, they move, right? They move like hell. And notice the stars are not moving, but this UFO really is on the surface. There's that square that I showed you, been talking about inside Mare Serenitatis, that absolutely fascinates me. But the problem is, here's the Apollo 17 landing in a circle. Look at this. Look at all these lines leaving from Bessel Crater, my friends. I want to show you something. We're going to leave that arrow up into the square, pointing to the square with a towering object right at the end of the arrow. But look at the line of light that continues all the way down. Now, how does that look natural? Showed this too in the last video. But let's look at this square once again, just to be sure. Hope you don't mind that there's that crazy laugh, trolls, that you saw the square. You want a crazy laugh? I can do crazy. They say, why is Bruce laughing in his videos while he's doing his research? He's freaking happy. I'm a happy guy. Come on, guys. The lights on the moon, does it scare you that hundreds of kilometers away other lights are lighting up at the same time? We have ourselves a confirmed light system. So that means some intelligent life form is up on the moon. Now, what do you guys think about biological creatures? Often I show you guys this and I say, hey, look, it's a UFO. I mean, does it not look like the tether incident jellyfish that are flailing around space, right? That we saw in the NASA tether STS incident. But now check this out. How do they look like UFOs? At all. How are these objects considered UFOs? They look like creatures, right? Here's the one that fascinates me the most, is seeing them lift up. At one point, people said, Bruce, you got to get the smokes and trails of them really lifting up to prove that they're really on the surface. So I bloody did. and I showed this close, and you're going to see when it leaves some scary incidences. I don't know if you know it. This took me a long time to show it not leaving fast like that, and you see the trail. Isn't it amazing? Right on the moon, guys, big UFOs, both appearing, let me add, and disappearing right before my eyes in this live UFO footage that we are pressed up on the surface of the moon, Copernicus, around there, not hiding it, always the same areas where I go, Mare Serenitatis, and we're seeing these objects on the surface. I caught UFO during the afternoon, so if a gray UFO like this goes to the surface, on a gray surface, good luck finding it. It was pure luck that I found it. But what do you think of this now? Both UFOs? No, this is one UFO. It's actually leaving. Is it leaving so fast that we see both a UFO twice in the frame? Because I'm telling you, it's leaving the surface. It doesn't look like we see it gliding across the surface. It actually looks like it's bloody teleporting itself across the surface. Yet we do see that plume of smoke between from where that UFO left on the bottom and went up to the top. We see an illumination entirely. Look at the whole screens lighting up when this object is moving across the moon. So when it dims out, look what the heck is happening to it. It's literally just turning into smoke, right? Even the train agrees. What do you think? It's turning into smoke. The UFO, watch it. There, you see it? Before it appears, the beginning of the intensity of that light is starting to appear, and you can see the UFO actually doing a shift right before our eyes on the surface of the moon. Declaring that there were signs of construction on the moon, I'm basing them on facts. I'm basing them on what archaeologists look for in surface structures when viewing overhead, because often an archaeologist will have to have an area, a site viewed from overhead and further out, like Stonehenge, for example, to be able to get a broader view and to see more objects by zooming out. But look at this. Imagine seeing that from Earth and seeing that size of structures. They would be massive. Here's Archimedes with some atmosphere running by. This is Eratosthenes, crater just at the end of the Apennine Mountains. Sometimes I run through a lot of theories about what could be or who could be up on the moon. Sometimes the theories are beautiful, but sometimes the theories are scary as hell. Because seeing these large objects, what the hell are we looking at? Are we looking at centers? Are we looking at labs? Are we looking at jails? Are we looking at an area where they're holding humans on the moon? Is this where aliens are bringing experimentation devices from all over the galaxy to be able to perform? You know what? Do you see where I'm getting at? I could go on and on and on and on and on. As sinister as it may be sometimes, I try to see the positive, but let me tell you, this is not one building, my friends. This is several objects, and maybe they're not buildings. Maybe they're batteries, maybe they're warehouses, maybe it's storage units. Maybe inside of there are completely filled with devices that we don't know about. Maybe it's filled with armored vehicles for, I don't know, a war on the moon. I'm getting to the point where, for me, space is just another area and not necessarily an area without life. What if the UFOs and the aliens that all of our lives we've seen in movies and heard about or wondered about, could they be right beside us on the moon? You're looking at structures. Could be massive reservoirs or tanks holding liquids, oils, gases. Listen, I have no idea. And I can go on and on and on with the theories, but again, seeing these structures up there on the moon and finding large structures and seeing UFOs going to and from the moon, let me tell you, if this is just secret human alien project, where the hell did we lose contact of reality? I mean, what the hell? How could that all be human? Are you kidding me? They could have built this in 60 years, 100 years? I don't think so. Unless they've been up there since the 1800s. Like certain associations have said. This is a partial eclipse that I got a couple of years ago. And I always love seeing that massive object going by, even seeing pieces or a piece coming from it. This is the sun we're looking at. And as the moon is just starting to approach the sun for the partial eclipse, at that moment, I was able to capture something going by. And of course, I was set up on the sun to be able to see that object going by. Ladies and gents, thanks. I love you all for the support. More on the way. So only a few days, the Pentagon's going to talk about maybe UFOs on the moon. That would be crazy.
This is Houston. Say again, please.